Lindsay Cummings, and today I'm going to give you my top 10 auto-buy authors. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first auto-buy author is Victoria Scott. I have personally known Victoria Scott for many years, and the reason why she's number one on my auto-buy list is because her writing is always very sarcastic, her characters are very real, very visceral. So if you like dark sarcasm in your books, then I think you should check out Victoria Scott. If you have not read These Broken Stars by this author duo, it is one of my favorite sci-fis out there. And so they have Unearthed coming up. I'm really excited about it. I heard it's kind of like Indiana Jones in space. I personally am co-writing a book right now with Sasha Alsberg, and it's really fun to get a chance to see what two author women are working on. I love the way their voices meld together. I love all the concepts that they choose. And ever since I read These Broken Stars, I've just been a fan of these two, and so I will probably always have them on my auto-buy list. Number 3 is also a friend of mine, but someone that I admire so much because she is one of the most talented, brilliant writers I could possibly even think of, and that is Ryan Graudin, the author of Wolf by Wolf and Invictus. Ryan writes stuff that's like historical mashed together with science fiction. Everything that Ryan does is so incredible. The research that she has to do, the heart that she puts into her work. Ryan is so talented. I've never met someone that can write a story so well, but can meld an actual historical event with something that's really high concept and fiction, and somehow she does it seamlessly. Patrick writes adult fantasy, but holy crap, you guys. The Name of the Wind is in one of my top books to read if you want to write fantasy, and it's just the way that Patrick writes a scene. The plot, the characters, all the stuff that I love in a story is really great in what Patrick Rothfuss does, but it's really the way that he writes every scene by scene. It's almost like he sucks you into it, and then there's literally no way to get out of that scene until you finish the book. The Name of the Wind is like 700 pages, and I read half of this book in one sitting because I couldn't stop reading. And anytime an author can do that, I'm incredibly impressed. The next one I'm so excited to talk about, not only because I've made a fool of myself in front of this author many times in the past. I don't even want to go into why her work is so amazing. It's Leigh Bardugo. And if you're watching this video and you haven't read Six of Crows, oh my gosh. I was a big fan of Leigh with her Grisha series. I thought it was really fun fantasy. It kind of reminded me of a Hunger Games type style, but then when I picked up Six of Crows, I felt like my entire world had just changed, and I saw an entirely new level of writing in the YA world. Leigh is such a talented author. Her backstory that she uses for her characters, like, I feel like that is what she's so incredible at, is creating this really heartbreaking, heart-wrenching backstory, and then also putting like witty banter and romances that like you want so bad to happen, but then they don't happen, but then they do happen later, and like everything that she does, her heist stuff, like how, Leigh? How do you do it? The next one is pretty much the same as Leigh Bardugo for me, and that author is Susan Dennard. Susan is the author of the Something Strange and Deadly series, now the Truth Witch series. She is like the queen of world building, and she's also the queen of teaching writers how to write. If you have any need to get better at world building, you need to check out Truth Witch. When a book starts out like Truth Witch with some of the best world building I've read in YA, and then the sequel is like 10 times better than book 1, it almost seems like, how can she keep getting better? But somehow she does, and she probably still will. Check out Susan Dennard in this series if you have not yet. It is awesome. The next auto-buy author on my list is Marie Lu. I remember reading Legend by Marie Lu a very long time ago, and I was so impressed with her characters. Warcross is Marie's next book. It's coming out in September. I have not had a chance to read it yet, but I know I'm going to love it before I even open up the pages, because Marie is one of those authors, again, that knows how to take a character and make them feel like they're leaping off of the page. Marie is one of the only authors in all of my life of reading thousands of books that has ever made me cry. That book was Champion, and I won't get into why it made me cry, but it involved a dog and a birthday and sadness. Why would you do that, Marie? Why? But Marie is just a really talented writer. I love all of the stuff that she's come out with so far. She also has graphic novels. She's a great artist. Like, is there anything that Marie Lu can't do? I don't think so. The next one on my auto list is Renee Audier, the author of The Wrath and the Dawn, and that book, it was so good, you guys. If you haven't read it, it was so good. Not only is Renee just a really beautiful human, but she's a really talented writer. She's one of those writers that can make a sentence kind of seem like it's made of magic. The way that she describes things, it's like so lyrical and so beautiful, but it also makes so much sense. If you've ever read any of Renee's work, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But sometimes I feel like her sentences are like stretchy saltwater taffy or like melting chocolate. The way she describes things, it's like she looks at one basic simple image and then she like stretches it apart until she finds the beauty in it, and then she writes it, and it's so good. The next auto by author is a little bit different than the typical stuff I talk about, but that is Francis Chan. That's Francis. Hi, Francis. Francis Chan is a pastor and also this really cool surfer dude who lives in California. He writes really awesome inspirational stuff. I typically watch Francis Chan's sermons on YouTube like all the time, and just the way that he's able to open up your eyes and the way he talks about God's love is so awesome. And so I don't even know if he has anything coming out anymore. I think maybe he might be done. But I just love Francis Chan. I think he's so real and so awesome, and I'm always gonna buy his stuff. And the last auto by author on my list is myself and Sasha Alsberg. Before you think that I'm just trying to promote to you, I have a funny story, and that's that I always go to the bookstore on release day every single year when I have a book come out, and I buy a copy of my own book. Because hey, if you aren't gonna support yourself, then who else is gonna do it? That is all that I have for you guys. Who are your favorite auto by authors? Let me know in the comments. I would love to find some new awesome books to read. And please, if you haven't yet, hit a like on this video. Go ahead and subscribe. I am here every Tuesday and every Friday. Tuesdays are vlogs, Fridays are bookish or writing videos, and I hope to see you next time. Remember, I love you, God loves you. Don't forget to love yourself. Bye! I've always wanted to like roll away from the camera. But seriously, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you later.